I feel like Nigerian parents nag a lot. This living with my parents is looking like as if it's a scam because I'm spending money. I'm still spending money. When did I grow up that I'm not they are not meeting me for contribution in this house?
Poetry in your body, you got it in everywhere.
So guys, let me take a few moments or a few minutes to compliment how I look good. Like, this is not the usual Marianne on this channel, you guys know. So Marianne right now is growing. There's a lot of growth when it comes to my image, a lot of growth when it comes to my image on this channel. So I'm definitely putting in the work, and today I feel so good. Where I look, my hair, everything is just on point, and I'm so happy. Let's just leave that. Let me get right into this video. So guys, on this channel, when I reintroduced myself few videos ago, I talked about how I'm going to like be more open on this channel, where I'm going to talk about everything that concerns me. I mean, I might not overshare a lot, but things that I feel like people are going through, people in my age grade are going through, people that something people can actually relate. Basically, my life experience as I mature, as I grow older, that's what I'm going to be doing on this channel. I'm going to be sharing all that on this channel. So today I want to be talking about my experience living with my African parent, Nigerian parent at 25. Guys, I actually did not want to do this because I felt embarrassed doing this because I mean, a lot of people, especially in my own at my age, don't envision themselves living with their parents at the age of 25. Yeah, and of course I was one of those people. At the age of 25, I envisioned myself living by myself in my own apartment, no matter how small the apartment was, living life alone. Like, I don't envision myself being married at this age, but at least living independently, you know and that feeling made this video embarrassing to do, at the beginning. So excuse me if I sometimes don't look at the camera, because this is not easy for me to do. So the way Nigerian parents can be, they can be really nerve-wracking, a lot stricter than normal parents. So you should know that living with Nigerian parents, especially at an older age, can be really annoying. So I'm going to talk about like positive experience, like the pros and the cons of living with my Nigerian parents at this age. Okay, one of the pros, or let me start with the pros of living with my parents at this age. One of them is free rent. Like, that's very obvious, very obvious. I won't be paying rent, and looking at how the economy is, rent is on the rise. Rent keeps increasing. I am even scared because I feel like if I don't put together my money to rent an apartment right now, I feel like in the next couple of months or in the following year, my money would not be enough. Because saving up money to move into your apartment consists of saving up money for the rent, and then decorations, repairs that you might actually want to do. So everything keeps increasing, and one of the pros of living with your parents is not paying rent. Imagine just having to not pay rent every year. That's like a lot of money saved. Another pros, like another positive side of living with my parents, is food, actually. And honestly, for this part, I don't really enjoy this benefit because I'm the kind of person that don't like to eat normal food. I have a very spoiled palate. I like to buy junks. I wake up in the morning with something in my mind I want to eat. If I don't get that, I'm not eating anything. I know. And I feel like it's my mindset. I'm used to this kind of mindset. I do this all the time. That's why I don't like, most times if I want to eat food that is at home, I probably eat pasta, or I eat rice, maybe take cereal. But real food that I want to eat is definitely going to come out from my favorite restaurant or my favorite my favorite spot. Like I'm that spot. So basically, I'm not sure if I enjoy these benefits like a lot. Another benefit of living with my parents is security. And I'm not even talking about security in terms of you know thieves or people coming to kill you, people coming to harass you or something. Security in terms of emotions. Staying with your parents, it's like you're in this safe bubble, this safe space where you're still like a child, you're still young, you don't have to do anything. Like that's how I feel, honestly, staying with my parents, because it's like I'm still that young girl, I'm still that small girl that that was daddy's girl, that was mommy's girl. you know I'm still living in that bubble, and that bubble is so comfortable. It's like it prevents you from that ash rays that comes with life. You're protected from life. It's like you're in that bubble, and that bubble is so soothing, it's so sweet. Like you don't want to give two fucks about what's going out in real life. That's like one another advantage of living with my parents that I actually enjoy. And I don't really want to call it advantage or disadvantage. I just want to call it my own experience. And look, if I were to say the cons of living with my Nigerian parents at this stage, number one is the nagging. I feel like Nigerian parents nag a lot because they don't understand that at this young age of ours, we have like a lot on our mind. There are days that I wake up and I'm not interested in doing chores. I'm not interested in whatever it is anybody wants to eat in the house, because staying with my parents at this age, I'm in charge of cooking. I have to cook every single day. I have to make sure that dinner is ready for my parents when they get back from work, even though I work from home. And working from home even makes it worse. So I'm actually at home, so I need to make sure that food is ready before they get back home. But sometimes I'm just in my feelings. I don't want to do anything. And Nigerian parents don't even get that. There are days that you want to be locked in, and they come back and they nag and they nag, and they even go as far as reporting you to your uncles, to your relatives, and they even go as far as reporting you to your uncles, to your relatives. And if you even try to like go over the issue, you'll be asking yourself, like, what exactly is the problem? Just because you were not in the mood to cook, or you were not in the mood to wash, it's like you're not a useless child. It's like you don't want to do anything at home. And sometimes it can be really really draining, because this is a very critical moment in your life where you are feeling everything at once, where your peers are doing a lot, where you feel like at a particular point you are stagnant, you're static, you're not moving. So there are days where you wake up and you don't feel like doing anything, you don't feel like life is worth it. Not like you're suicidal, but you don't feel like all these little things are worth it. You feel like you're not where you're supposed to be, and then someone bothering you with house chores, you just want to scream. That's how it is. And they take it so far as, talking about my parents, they take it so far as you not wanting to be useful in the house, not knowing that there's a lot of internal issues, or internal things that's going up, that's like things that are fighting against each other internally, and you just need space to like breathe. They don't really understand that. All they know is that you must do what they want you to do at that point. They don't care how you're feeling, they don't care whether your emotions about anything. They just want you to do whatever it is they want to do. Another thing, another con, I think another disadvantage of living with your family at this time is you spend more money than you think you are saving. Honestly, when you stay with your family, when you like staying with your parents at this point, you feel like you're saving a lot. Yeah, you're not paying rent, there's food in the house, food that you probably don't want to eat is in the house, and you feel like you are going to be saving a lot. But in reality, if you really want to like dive into that issue, you really want to analyze that issue, you're not you're really not saving a lot, because there are a lot of things in the house that needs to be done. People are going to come and meet you because you're like at this age in the house. After your parents, you're the next person, so you're kind of like the elderly one in the house. If someone needs quick airtime, you're the one. If someone needs quick data, you're the one. If there's no fuel in the house, you're the one. If there's like some expenses that needs to be done in the speed of light, you're the one. So is it that money that you're supposed to be saving from, rents? You're supposed to be saving from food. You're supposed to save from, free food. You'll be spending it on those little things, and then you start wondering to yourself, okay, I'm still with my parents. Where is the money that I'm supposed to be saving? Where is the money that I'm supposed to be saving from these expenses that are being taken care of? So where's the money? You think to yourself, and you're wondering, this living with my parents is looking like as if it's a scam, because I'm spending money. I'm still spending money. And once you are grown, you have to take care of yourself. There's nobody that's going to buy you clothes. There's nobody that's going to give you money for anything. If you want to do anything, if you want to buy anything, nobody's going to look at you and say, okay, take this, take that. You're definitely going to be the one fending for yourself. So even little things that you might need, like when it comes to caring for yourself, you're spending money on that, plus expenses in the house that you are no longer a child, you're no longer a baby, so people look up to you to take care of those things without calling your parents. So you're practically saving money. So indirectly, I feel like it's kind of like a scam. Personally, for me, like, it's a scam, and in a way you actually spend more money. So instead of, if you think that you're going to be saving more money, you're going to be saving a lot of money staying with your parents. That's not that, to me, I feel like it's not really true. So because the amount of money that you think you're going to save, you wouldn't reach that goal. You actually spend more. And when people are looking up to you in your household, looking up to you to foot bills for some certain things, you don't want to act like you can't do it. You don't want to act like you're not an adult. You don't want to act like you're not grown. You actually want to do it. So in fact, for you to meet your parents and be like, okay, we need money to do this, might actually be embarrassing. You just want to take care of things. Another experience living with my parents is this: there's this reality check. You start seeing your parents as human beings. When we were young, we see our parents as these superheroes, like these people that can conquer, they can do anything. In your eyes, they can do absolutely anything. They're like, Superman, they're like the Hulk. They can do whatever it is they want to do. And sometimes when we look at them, we say to ourselves, I can't wait to be an adult, because we feel like once we reach that stage, I should be able to do anything I want to do. I should be able to do this, do that. So that's like the lens with which we view our parents at that point, at that young age. And now there's this reality check. You're looking at your parents and you realize that they are actually just ordinary people like yourself. And you start to see it. You be in a situation whereby your parents will come to you asking for loan. That was like one reality check, that made me realize that I was actually grown. Because I used to see myself as this young girl. I'm still young, I'm still a baby, but there's some things that will just drag you back from that bubble that you're surrounding yourself with. You're like, wait, oh, it's like I'm not it's like I'm now an adult. It's like I'm grown now, I'm not a grown up. Because there's certain things that your folks, your siblings, your parents would, ask of you, and you're like, I'm actually a grown ass person, not even man or woman, I'm a grown ass person, and I really need to sit up and do a lot of things for myself. That's like one of the things that, brought that reality check. you know Siblings asking you for loan, parents asking you for loan, maybe asking you to invest in their business, and I'll be looking at myself, I'll be like, dad, you know that or in Nigerian language, daddy, you know that I am still a small girl. Like, there's like a particular amount that I am not ready to be hearing right now. Not as if I don't know those amounts, but it comes like a shock actually. It comes like a shock, and that's why I say it's like a reality check. People looking up to you for, help, for you to invest in their business. It's like, family asking you to contribute. That was one surprising. That was one reality check that brought me back, because there was a particular time we were supposed to do something, and he came to meet me for contribution. I was like, me, like, I was like, I looked, I looked to my side. I was wondering whether they made a mistake, because when did I grow up that I'm not they are now meeting me for contribution in this house? It was then I knew that I was no longer a baby girl. I'm now a grown house woman. So, it's like that, and I can understand how it would actually be for, for people that come from family that don't really have. I'm lucky that my parents are, up and doing. They have businesses on their of their own, and they really don't need a lot of help from, from us. Just probably minor things when there's like trouble or there's an issue. So I'm lucky. But for people my age that come from families that don't really have that luxury, I can really relate how fast you really need to sit up at this particular age, especially when you're living with your family. You tend to see things that really need to be done. You look around and you be like, these are things that need to be done. Who is going to do it? And when you look around, when you know situation of things, it's up to you to do those things. So it's kind of like a reality check that you're grown. You don't need to call your parents to do this. You don't need to call nobody. In fact, when you even go and meet them, that okay, this thing needs to be done, they look back at you, and I'm like, why can't you do it? So you're like, that's true. Why can't I do it? You understand? So it comes like that. Like, that's like one of the things I've actually realized living with family. And another thing that I've actually come to like, appreciate is that my family makes, or living with my parents makes me appreciate, family a lot. When I was growing up, I won't lie, I hated my family. Not like deep hate, like when you say you hate maybe like your enemy or something, but I really wanted to be out of their space. I didn't really like them. My parents were annoying, my siblings were annoying, my elder sister was annoying. It's just like, I can't wait to go to the university to be done with you guys. That was the feeling that I had, and I'm very sure a lot of other people actually had that feeling. You just feel like you don't want to be in this space anymore. I'm tired of you guys. I don't want to see your face. I can't wait to be in university. And it was like that for me growing up. But right now, I've come to appreciate having my family around. In fact, the time that my two brothers were not around were one of the loneliest days in this house. I'm definitely not going to tell them this, and I hope my brother is not listening. Like, it was really one of the loneliest days in my life, because I realized that I actually miss those boys a lot, because when they were around, I didn't really see the value of their presence. But when they left, and when my parents went to work and I was just working, on my laptop by myself at home, I would just stand up and want to go and, tell my brother something, funny. and to realize that it's not even at home. I missed them a lot, you know. I would even miss the, my mom nagging at me. That nagging that gets me angry, that gets me pissed. I started missing it. So I'm like, okay. So staying with my parents, made me, realize the importance of family, like, you know, the beauty of having your family around. And it's something that I am grateful for. It's something that I'm happy that I'm able to understand and really realize at this age. Because if I had just, gone to stay on my own at immediately after uni, I won't really understand all this. I'll just be staying away from my family. I'll just be staying away from them. I really don't want to be in the same space with them. But staying with my parents has made me realize that, okay, yeah, having family around is actually a very beautiful thing, even though it has its annoying phase. But staying with your parents, staying with your siblings, it has this there's this beauty in it. And there's this love, there's this happiness that you feel when you have your family around you. And I didn't really see that until it was gone. And then I realized how much I really enjoyed their presence. And I had to like say to myself that I really, I now understand the beauty of having one's family around. That's one beautiful realization that I actually came to while living with my parents. Apart from all that, living with Nigerian parents can actually make you see that they're not all that bad. Because growing up with Nigerian parents, you have to get used to strict life. Especially my parents, they were super strict. Oh my god, they were so strict. And then now I now kind of like understand why my parents were that strict with me. Because right now my mom or my parents, they are not as strict as they were before. Sometimes I'll be like, I'll go out and come back very late, and I'll be wondering that she can't even call me to even know whether I'm coming back home or care this and that. And now I'm older, I know I should be able to make my own decisions. So right now I understand, okay, why they were so super strict with me. So even my parents now made me understand that they probably were not all that bad while I was growing up, because I actually felt like my Nigerian parents were the devil. My parents were the devil. Like that's how I felt growing up, honestly. And it's normal to feel those kind of emotions growing up as adolescents and teenagers, because you know that your parents don't want you to do whatever it is you want to do. So now I understand why they were like that. Even now they are not as strict as before. They are not even strict at all. I can just go out whenever I want, do whatever I want, and I'm like, they'll just tell you make your own decisions. And I'm like, is this really the woman I grew up with? Is this the woman that would beat me when I would just go downstairs to play with the neighbors' children? And I'm like, when did this woman change? So like you see a lot of things differently. You get to understand why they were that strict, and be like, okay, maybe they were not all that bad, and maybe I was just being a kid for reacting that way. And I really love that. I really, I just feel like, so that's why sometimes when I see my brothers misbehaving, I'm like, and I see how hard my mom or my parents are on them. I'm like, you guys should just calm down. Later on, you realize, and I'm like, you guys even had it easy. In my time, I was not using a phone. I didn't touch a phone until I got to university. Even the phone I had before university was this phone that you could never. I'd never used a BlackBerry. I never used a Nokia phone. I was using this first Nokia phone 3310 for like a while, for a long while, because my parents hated the fact that we were going to have a phone. And seeing my brothers now, my brother that just finished secondary school was with your phone, and I could not even smell one phone. I was like, they have it easy, and it feels good to really understand, your parents' perspective from that time. Even though maybe in your own time you might really want to do things different. Some people always talk about how they would want to do parenting different, and I'm like, I might not really change a lot of things that my parents did to bring us up. I might not really change a lot, maybe just some things. But people saying that they're going to change like all the parenting styles their parents. I don't really know about their own, parents, the way their parents brought them up. But about mine, I'm not really sure I'm going to change like a lot, because I thought that was really great. And even at my, old age, not like old age, but at this age where I'm supposed to want to do things, do a lot of things without thinking, because of the restriction I got from my parents while growing up. I think about a lot of things before I do them. At this age where when my mates, I'm even going out bowling every night, I'll be like, it's not even my thing. I'm that kind of person. Sometimes when it is 10 o'clock, 11, I don't feel good staying out. I want to be back home, even if I'm staying by myself, except if it's an event where I know that I'm going to stay all night long. Then I need to mentally prepare for that kind of event. So I feel like parenting styles my parents use on me actually contributed to that positive part of me. And it's not something I'm going to take away when I'm doing that for my own, when I'm parenting my own child. So these are like all the things that I actually kind of like experienced growing up with my parents. Not like growing up, staying with my parents right now, and it's still a process, because there are even new things that I'm still observing, and I'm like, wow. I mean, I don't plan on staying with my parents for so long, because at this age I really felt like I was going to stay by myself at this age. And when it comes to making that decision, when it comes to taking that leap of faith, there's always an excuse on my own part. It's either I'm not seeing I'm not seeing the places that fit my budget, or I feel like my money is not enough. I feel like I might I might come back, because there's this, I feel like the worst thing that can happen to an adult is when you finally move out from your parents' house and then you have to come back grown. That's the biggest embarrassment. I feel like, to me, I mean, that happens to a lot of people, that like circumstances that would put you in that position. But it's not something I would want to experience. It's not something I would like for to happen to me. So most times when I think about the whole thing, I'm like, I really want to do it right. I really want to move out and never come back. Move out to my own apartment, and from my apartment move to my husband's house. That circle, not move, then coming back. It's like starting from square one. I don't want to be that. That's why most times I tend to take things slow in figuring out where to stay. And I look at my some of my friends, and I really admire them that they are staying alone. They took that leap of faith of staying alone. And I'm like, when would that be me? When would that be me? And I know that a lot of people are actually thinking about it. A lot of people are actually they have this on their mind. And one thing I always say to myself is that there's no rush. A lot of people moved into the apartment at the age of 23, 24. Mine might not be 25, mine might be 26, 27, and it's still going to be okay, because there's no fixed point, or there's no fixed age where you're supposed to do something. You just need to go at your own pace. But when you want to do it, make sure you do it well. That's one thing I say to myself. I know that I'm not going to stay with my parents. I'm definitely not going to stay with my parents forever, but I want to make sure that when I move out, I'm going to do it well, and I'm going to enjoy it. So guys, these are like my experiences living with my parents at this age. I mean, these are like my experiences living with my parents at the age of 25. You guys can share me your own experience in the comment section. Let me know what you think about my experience. I'll see you guys in my next video. Have a lovely day. Bye.